that is going into a meditative space. You'll be surprised how powerful that can be over a sustained period of time in developing your intuition. Another thing is drinking water. Water is an incredible tool that seems to just somehow wake up intuitive ability. It just is. You know, I don't really have a scientific explanation for it, but quite frankly, I don't feel like I need one because I know that it works.
Right.
I've seen it in myself, and I've seen it in many, many people over the years. And another piece, I don't know about you, Andrew, but another piece is when you reduce the amount of dairy and meat. And a lot of people are not going to want to hear that, but it's true. It's absolutely, you know, there's a ton of research to support it. When you reduce it from your diet, that also moves you into a higher vibratory space, and that allows you to receive, you know, high vibration, what I call intuition, spirit communication, all that good stuff. So those are just some quick tips that I can share that people can use right away.
Yeah, water conducts electricity, and there's kind of an electrical vibe. You know, and when you look at people, anything that you do that you're really into it, and you're not thinking about the electric bill or anything else, to me that's meditation. If that's gardening, if that's running, and for people who have problems meditating, my prescription for their meditative happiness, which has worked a lot, amazingly, is to have them watch cartoons. Because the colors and certain things in cartoons, if you really watch a cartoon, you pay attention to it, you'll sort of, zone out a little bit. But it ultimately is about just being in the moment. And if that's playing with a 2-year-old or being a 2-year-old, doesn't matter. Whatever that is, if it helps you to be in the moment, to me, that's a form of meditation. We've only got about 10 minutes left, so I want to thank you again. I hope you've had fun, first off. I hope you have had fun. The time has kind of flown by, hasn't it?
It's incredible how quickly the time has gone. I can't believe it, actually. And I've had such a good time, Andrew. I can't thank you enough for the invitation. This was quite an honor and just a great way to spend my evening.
Oh, thank you. And I'm sorry, because I know you're going to be up doing things before your flight tomorrow. You don't have an early flight, I hope.
No, we're leaving at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. And I told Zita during one of our breaks that my husband walked in with almond milk and wine, so the man knows me very well. And I don't mind staying up to make my spread tonight because got that Zeno out there waiting for me. So so it's quite all right with me.
That's fantastic. We will be back next week. And our guests next week we're going to kind of go down the past life trail a little bit more. We have 2 guests next week, Dr. Adrian Finkelstein, and Dr. Finkelstein is a really amazing guy. I sought out Dr. Finkelstein, and I really enjoyed talking to him, but I want to talk a little bit real quickly. We have 2 guests, Adrian, Dr. Finkelstein, and also Valerie Flanagan. And Valerie and Dr. Finkelstein together wrote a book because Valerie believes, and I think there's a pretty strong case can be made, that she's the reincarnation of the 1930s actress Jean Harlow. And it's very possible, and certainly if you look at the pictures, it's kind of scary, that Adrian is the reincarnation of Jean Harlow's husband at the time, who was a producer, Paul Byrne, who was murdered. It's a really kind of interesting. So he's written a book about that. He's also written a book, which I think is a really fabulous book, about the potential reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe, who was and is Sherry Lee Laird, who is a singer in Canada. And I independently had said that I believe that Sherry Laird is, in fact, the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. And you also like this, and I'll kind of move on. I've been working with Valerie because I, too, am perhaps part of this, and I may also be, and I think I'm going to kind of talk about that next week, the reincarnation of an actress. I'm a diva, what else would I be but an actress from the 1930s as well. not quite as famous as Jean Harlow. So that's next week. So so that should be kind of fun. For me, the way to contact me if you're interested is andrew-brewer.com. Valerie, again, is ParaGoddess.com. And Zita, let people know one more time how they can find you, if you don't mind.
They can find me on Facebook.
Oh, and the Haunted Clock.
The Haunted Clock. They can find me on Facebook just by my name, Zita Ost. I'm also on Twitter at the original Hey Z. So I'm kind of out there. And of course, I'm always around the network. So.
Hey, JoLynne and I are like Facebook. You know, we're like all over it. So
yeah.
Mine is Andrew.Brewer. JoLynne, what is your Facebook address?
Oh, it's just too long. It's too long to shout. But what I can say is, if anybody wanted to find me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or my YouTube channel, all of that is on my website, obviously. Or you can just Google my name, and all those links pop right up. They come right up. So
we've got about 7 or 8 minutes left. JoLynne, is there anything that you would like to talk about as we head out? Anything that's going on in your world that we haven't addressed that you'd like to bring up?
Well, I really love how we talked about people and their journey, you know, and the role that we play. And I love, Andrew, that you and I both take our work very seriously, even though sometimes we're still figuring stuff out, you know, even though we're still on our own respective journeys. I love that the one thing you and I seem to really have in common is not only a passion for what we do, but a real commitment to it as well. And that's very powerful and very beautiful. That didn't really answer your question. That was more like an observation, but for whatever it's worth, there you have it.
I mean, when anybody has all the answers, to me, they're just lazy, and to me. So when I see someone that has like the formula, the system, I'm like, dude, seriously, no. I mean, I have a lot of theories and a lot of written, a bunch of stuff, but I'm still evolving. I don't ever claim, even as a psychic, I don't go, this is definitive. I go, this is my opinion, and this is what I think, and, you know, let's look at this from, you know, multiple angles. Ultimately, it's about evolution. It's about spiritual evolution, and that spiritual evolution is typically emotional and psychological evolution. So, I mean, all of us, the beauty of it, I think, is that all of us still can make good things happen for ourselves. All of us can make gigantic positive changes within our attitudes, within the ways in which we deal with our day-to-day life, the way we deal with other people, our interpersonal relationship with parents or a spouse and a next-door neighbor. All those things can change, but it comes from first recognizing that you want to make a change and then making a commitment to do it. I mean, there's a thought, but then there has to be an emotional commitment that comes out of it. I want to thank you again so much for taking the time to come and hang with us. I really have enjoyed not only the last 2 hours, but the last few years of watching you and getting to know you. And you are a lot of fun. And I really,
that's very
all the
sweet.
things
Thank
I said, I meant. You know, I mean, so everything I said that was complimentary, I wasn't just saying that. That's really how I feel.
I know that you're authentic enough to not. I know that you meant everything, and it meant so much to me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I mean, I get in trouble for telling the truth sometimes, so I try to be consistent with that. I mean, I think that, you know, when you see people who bring something unique and special, I see any reason not to say, hey, I think what you do is really magical, really cool. I like it. And I think what you do is really magical, really cool, and I like it. So I just want to say that.
Thank you. That means a lot, Andrew.
Zita, is there anything that you want to throw in? I know that you must be, because we've been doing this now. This is the 5th show we've done together. When we just started this last, it's actually been less than a month since
Yeah.
we started.
Yeah, just a month.
And have you had fun doing these, I hope?
I do. I mean, it's kind of fun because I'm not hosting. I can kind of sit back and watch the chat room and do my thing there and do my programming thing, and I think it's great. I think you do a phenomenal job. I think you do a great job. You've done this
Well,
before.
thank you.
I
like being the
tell.
guest better, truthfully, but it's fun. It's fun being back, being a radio host again. I actually went through a period where I didn't want to be the host because I like being the guest. I wanted it to all be about me. But it's actually, I have to admit that being a host, it really is kind of a good time.
Yeah.
Again, ParaGoddess.com, JoLynne Valerie, Andrew-Brewer for Andrew Brewer. We will be back next week, Dr. Adrian Finkelstein and Valerie Franick, talking about, and let me get the name of their book here real quickly. Oh my gosh, I got to put on my glasses. Let me see if I can figure out where I put my glasses. Another weird thing. When I was young, I could see like the finest and most minute print, but I couldn't see far away. Now I can see far away, but I need glasses to read. How crazy is that? By Love Reclaimed, Jean Harlow returns to clear her husband's name. That's a pretty rocking book. So, everybody have a happy week. JoLynne, have a fun trip. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I want to go to Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'll post lots of pictures. Don't worry, lots of pictures.
You're not
Fantastic.
You're not that far from Charlotte, there, Andrew.
I have a lot of stuff going on. Plus, they would frown upon me just like crashing it, if it's already sold out.
Oh, you're so charismatic, they wouldn't even notice.
Oh, well, they might, just on the off chance, that they did. But that does sound amazing. So everybody have a happy week. Somebody, whoever took summer and hit it, please return it. Please bring it back.
It's up here for the day anyway.
What the heck? In the old days, talking about the weather was for people who were dull. Now it's like the most entertaining thing you can talk about. And I want to say a special kind of prayer, hope, for everything that's happening in the world, that we all find happy solutions and that everybody finds a peaceful, happy way to get along with one another. It's a challenging time in a lot of respects, but I'm still very optimistic about things moving forward. So, everybody have a happy week. We'll see you next week. If you're in North Carolina, JoLynne, the name of your conference again?
It's called Authors After Dark in Charlotte, North Carolina.
But the name of the conference?
Authors After Dark.
I like it.
Authors After Dark. God, that just sounds fantastic. Oh, my God, I want to go. And I want to go to the supernatural soiree. That would just be the most rocking thing ever. On that note, there's no way to top that. Everybody have a happy week, and we will see you next Monday, 9 p.m. on the Hazy Radio Network, Rock and Roll Psychic Radio. Adios, everybody. Thank you very much.
You've been listening to the Rock and Roll Psychic Radio Show with your host, Andrew Brewer, and his co-host, Hazy. Join us every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Hazy Radio Network, for great guests and great topics. This has been a Hazy Media Productions in association with Andrew Brewer Psychic Medium Radio.